This is the simplest question, guys. It's not even difficult. So, if you want to express this as a single fraction, so first of all, you have to write the question itself. So you say 2 over 3m minus 2 minus 1 over 2m minus 3, like that. So, the first thing, you have to find the common denominator. So how do you find the common denominator? You just multiply these denominators. So you are going to have 3m minus 2 multiplied by 2m minus 3. So now we know the rules of combining fractions. When we have the common denominator, we start by we start by uh, this first part. You see this, you say 3m into 3m minus 2 of multiplied by 2m minus 3. So it will be like this. So you just divide that into this, and then whatever you're going to remain with, you multiply it by the numerator there. So in this case, you can say 3m minus 2, when we divide into this, we are going to have uh, 2m minus 3. Now if you have that, you multiply it by what? By 2. So the multiplication will be 2 open bracket 2m minus 3 close bracket. Now also this part, do not rush to write the negative here. So first thing which you need to do, you have to get the denominator, you divide into this, and then you divide into this, whatever you're going to remain with, you're going to multiply with the numerator. Now the sign which is here, the negative, will be combined with 1, so it will be negative 1 multiplied by whatever you're going to remain with. So it will be negative 1, like that, multiplied by 2m minus 3 into this, you're going to remain with 3m minus 2, like that. So now you start multiplying, you're going to have 2 times 2m to be 4m, 2, 2 times negative 3 to be negative 6, and then you are going to have negative 1 multiplied by 3m to be negative 3m, negative 1 multiplied by negative 2 to be positive, because negative times negative, it is positive, like that. So when you have this, you say over this, so it will be 3m minus 2 open bracket 2m minus 3, like that. So when you have this, you group the like terms. Now in this case, the like terms, we have 4m uh, goes with negative 3m, and then negative 6 goes with the positive 2, like that. So you say 4m minus 3m negative 6 plus 2, like that, over 3m minus 2, and then you have 2m minus 3, like that. So you say 4m minus 3m to be just an m, negative 6 plus 2. Since one number is a negative, therefore you subtract and get the sign from the bigger number. So in this case, you are going to have negative 6 plus 2, it will be we say 6 minus 2, it is 4, and then when you get the sign from the bigger number, it is a negative, so you say negative 4, like that, over 3m minus 2 close brackets, and you have 2m minus 3, like that. So this is your answer, because when you check the numerator, there's nothing that it can divide on the denominator, therefore you just leave it like that, unless if you had something which was common, therefore you're going to divide, and then maybe you can remain with a what, a one, like that, and then do not forget the equal signs, just like that. So that's how you go about question A, as in expressing as a single fraction. Now uh, when as we go to question B, any questions so far? You can just unmute yourself if you have any questions. Joel, you have any question? Everything is okay? Okay. Alright. Now, if everyone has understood, therefore, we proceed. Um, Question B, the famous bus method as we all know it. So this is a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation, any quadratic equation must be in the form of f of x should be equal to ax to the power 2 plus bx plus ac should be equal to 0. So any form of equation must be in this form. In this form. Now, if any form of equation must be in this form, therefore you get this equation, you compare it. So you write, you say 3x squared plus 13x minus 7 is equals to 0. In this case, you are able to see whatever is what? The comparisons. So as you can see, a, it is the coefficient, it is the coefficient of x squared, and then b, it is the coefficient of x, and c, it is the what? A constant. Now uh, if you have this, therefore you list them, because you know that a is corresponding with 3 there, so you say a is equals to 3, and then b is corresponding with 13 there, you say 13, and a c is corresponding with what? A negative 7. So you have to include that negative. Don't just get a single number more like just 7. No, you have to include the sign itself. So if you have this, and then we all know the formula, it is what? X, the formula is, we know that for the Bus method, it is x is equals to negative b positive or negative the root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So quadratic equations, these can be solved by, you can use factorization method, you can use completing the square, but for you guys, you are advised to use this method. So now, since we know the values here, we have already compared, and then we know what we needed, so you just proceed by substituting the values. So now on substituting the values, this is where now you have to be very careful. So you say x is equals to, as you can see here, we have a negative outside, you put it there, and then a b, the value of b, it is what? 13. So you say open bracket, and then you write 13. But if this 13, if it was a negative value, you could have written negative 13 inside the what? The brackets. And then you say positive or negative the root of. Now this b also, you say 13 to the power what? 2 minus 4. What is a? 8 is 3. So you say open bracket 3 close bracket, and then open bracket again, you say negative 7, then close bracket, like that. Now if you have this, you say over 2 open bracket, what is the value of a? It is 3. So you write 3 like that. Now you start simplifying using the algebra, in short. So you say x is equals to negative times 13, it is negative 13, positive or negative the root of what? 13 squared. So you can grab your calculator there, and then you say 13 squared, it is equals to 169. So you write 169, and then these that are in brackets, it means multiplication. So if you want, you can show by multiplying, but it is better you put in the brackets to know, it will be easier. It makes the work looks neat as well. So you say 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by, it is negative 4, so you write negative 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by negative 7. So your answer, it is positive answer, so you say positive 84. So it will be plus 84 like that, over 2 times 3, which is a 6. So you proceed by saying x is equals to negative 13 there, positive or negative, the root of what? 169 plus 84. So you say 169 plus 84, it is what? 253. So if we have 253 there, over 6 like that. Now here, don't just separate, you have to find this value first, the root of 253 inside. So you say x is equals to negative 13, positive or negative, what is the root of 253? So you press on the root, you say the answer is 15.9059737 over a 6 down there. Now when you're at this point, that's where now you can separate. So as we are separating, so you say uh, x is equals to negative 13. Now you start with positive, so you say positive because you have positive or negative, so you just say positive 15.9059737 like that, and then x will be equals to, so you say negative 13 plus 15.90597372 like that, and then you say equal to the answer. This is over 6, sorry, this is over 6, and then you are going to have x is equals to 2.9059737 over what? 6. And also here we have x, the one for the negative, you say x is equals to negative 13 negative 15.9059737 like that, over what? A 6. And then you say x is equals to, now here you're going to say negative 13 minus 15.90597372 like that, and then your value will be negative 28.90597372 like that, over a 6. Now at this point, that's where you divide, which is the second last step. So when we say 2.9057372 divided by a 6, so your answer is 0.48428953 and the 3 there. And also x is equals to, now you say negative 28.9057372, you divide by what? By a 6, and then your value will be x is equals to negative 4.81752286.7. Now at this point, that's where now you round off to what? two decimal places. They have said correct your answers to two decimal places. So you say x, or you can even show that you are saying therefore x is equals to 0.48. This number, it is less than 5, therefore you just write 8. But if it was 5 or greater than 5, we could have borrowed 1 from that number and then put to this number 8, and it becomes a 9. And then you say, or x is equals to, we also do the same, to be negative 4, negative 4.80. Now this number is greater than 5, so it will be 82, like that. So this is your answer, and that is your answer, like that. So you just have to start. When you write your formula, you substitute the values, you start breaking it down step by step, step by step. But you just have to be fast. But you guys have enough time, 2 hours 50 minutes. It's a lot of time. If you just follow it systematically and stepwise, you'll be done with no time. And then you won't even make some mistakes if you just break it down like the way I've done here. So that is your answer for question B. Any questions so far? Guys, mumulibema question kuno bimveka. Okay, sawa manga bimveka. Okay, so then now we can even proceed to the next set of questions, which is question 2. There's a question somewhere. Okay, so uh, I think you must understand. Given, have you understood?
Yes, I've understand. Thank you.
All right, all right.
What going to have a boost? My network was tripping. I just want to put.
Oh, I've arrived. Sorry, you're copying now.
Yes, I'm copying, sir.
All right.
You can laugh, sir, now.
All right. Lit. Madam Belinda, you're welcome. Okay, so we proceed to the next question. So the next question, we are going to use this page to solve the question. I'm really sorry for that. The question is more like too long, because it is better that you see the question and then the answers next to it. But yeah, but to correct data as we are able to see the question. So now, question two. Question two is saying, given that matrix K is equals to that, which is 89x, 1 and x, find the 1, the value of x for which the determinant of k is 2, and then 2, the inverse of k. So how do you go about this question? Guys, me, the way I teach exam standard. So if you be just systematic with the way I'll be solving, and then if you just solve the way I'll be solving, I guarantee you failing math unless she otherwise, because je back family, I not back family like, but yeah, so on this question what you need to understand is for finding the determinant. The reason why you have said you need to consider the determinant because you have already been given the what? The determinant here. So this is our what? Our determinant. So I can just rewrite the equation on this page. So it is 80, 9x, 1 and x. And then they have said the determinant det is equals to 2, and then this is matrix K like that. Let me see if I've copied the correct question. Okay, 89x 1x, the determinant is 2. Yes, like that. So okay, so how do we find the determinant? The determinant is found by uh, the major diagonal minus the minor diagonal. So which one is the major diagonal? Now the major diagonal is this one. This one is the what? The major diagonal. And then the minor diagonal, it is this one which I haven't crossed here, which is from this point to that point. So those are the diagonals that we have in a matrix. Now what you have to do is you have to indicate here, you have to say A, B, C and D, and then you know that the determinant is given by det is equals to the major diagonal, which is A and D. So you say A multiplied by a D in brackets, guys, do not forget brackets, and then you subtract, open bracket, the minor diagonal now, which is B multiplied by a C, like that. So if you have this, therefore it is easier for you to do what? To substitute the values. So you say det, since you know that the determinant is given by a 2 there, so you say 2 is equals to, what is the value of A? The value of A we've already indicated here, it is what? 8. So you say 8 multiplied by what? By D we have already found, it is x there, so you say x like that, minus, open bracket, B. What is the value of B? The value of B, it is what? 9x multiplied by the value of C now, which is a 1, like that. Now you say 2 is equals to 8 times x, it is 80x, like that. In brackets, don't forget the brackets, minus, open bracket, 9x times 1, it is 9x. Now imagine if this 1 was a negative 1. We could have said that 9x multiplied by negative 1, which we are going to have negative 9x, and then that negative 9x, since it is in the brackets, therefore we are going to multiply with what? This negative here. Now since it is already positive, so we're just going to say 2 is equals to 8x. Now negative times positive 9x, it is negative 9x, like that. And then you have 2 is equals to 8x minus 9x. Here what you do, since these are like terms, you say since you have a negative there, so you just say 9x minus 80x, and then you get the sign from the bigger number. So you say 9x minus 8x, it is what? It is just x, because it will be just a 1, so it will be x. And then when you get the sign from the bigger number, as we can see, the bigger number here, it is 9, so you are going to say negative x, like that, over negative 1 over negative 1, because we just want x, we don't want negative x. So you say cancel and you cancel, your answer will be equal to negative 2. Now here I've just swapped them in advance, but if you want, you can say negative 2 is equals to x, and then when you swap them, it will be x equal to negative 2, like that. So this is your value of x, like that here. Any questions so far?
No question, it is clear.
All right. um we go to question B. Now, question B, we have to correct the data here first. So, these sets, oh, we have to do two first, which is the inverse, right? We have to find the inverse. Sorry, I forgot. So, we had the 8x and 9x, 1 and the x there. Wait, what? Oh, it's only 8, sorry. So like that, and then this is the matrix K. So they have said we need to find the what? The inverse. But we need to find the original now matrix the way it is without having this value, the value of x. So since we have already found the value of x, therefore we can find the original, the matrix the way it's supposed to be. So to be 8, 9, and then x, we know that it is negative 2, the one we have found, and then we say negative 2 there and the 1. So we know the matrix is given by 8, negative 18, negative 2 and a 1 there. So now this, it is the what? The original matrix as it is defined by K. So when you have to find the inverse, the inverse of the matrix K, so you say negative this, negative the power negative 1 symbolize the inverse. So it is given by 1 over the determinant, which is det, and then you multiplied by, now here, the major diagonal, which is this one from this point to that point. The major diagonal, they change positions. The elements for the major diagonal, they change positions. So in this case here we are going to have negative 2, and then down we are going to have 8, like that. Now the minor diagonal, they change signs. They do not swap, but they change signs, which simply means that if both were negative, which means both will become positive. Now in this case only one is negative, so it will become a positive, but one it is positive, therefore it will become a negative. So don't have that mindset that no, they will change sign, they will swap signs. No, they just change signs, they do not swap. Now you proceed by K inverse is equals to 1 over, now the determinant we know, the determinant it is already given in the question, which is a what? A 2. And then we have negative 2 there, 18, negative 1 and 8, like that, like this. And then we say the inverse of K. So we already know that here 1 over 2 it is multiplied by what? By every element in this matrix. So you are going to say 1 over 2 multiplied by this. So you can even do it on your, on the other side. You can even say 1 over 2 multiplied by negative 2. It will give you negative 2 over 2, like that. So you just get this, and then you write, you say negative 2 over 2. And then here you say 1 over 2 multiplied by 18 is equals to 18 over a 2. You write there. So you say 18 over a 2, like that. And then you have negative 1. I mean, you have 1 over 2 times negative 1. Automatically to be negative 1 over what? Over 2. So negative 1 over a 2. And then 1 over 2 times 8, so you have 1 over 2 multiplied by 8 to give you what? 80 over a 2. So you say 80 over a 2 right there. Now here you have to reduce your what? Your numbers. So you have to find the one which can enter into both numbers without leaving any remainder. So you say this will be given by 2 into 2, it is negative 1. 2 into 18, it is 9. 2 into negative 1, it is negative 0.5. So we can even just write negative 1 over a 2 like that. And then 2 into 8, it is what? A 4, like that. So this is your answer as the inverse of the matrix, like that. So that's how you go about this. I hope it's very clear, this one. There's no it can't be complicated, guys. It is always like this. Now for question for question 2 you have to correct data first, because data is the one which is going to help us to illustrate this information in a Venn diagram. So first of all, you have to understand the question what is saying, because failing to understand the question, it will be a bit difficult. So the question is saying a survey carried out in a certain district showed that out of 215 teachers, so this, it has already shown that this is your total number of teachers that were involved in the what? In the survey. Because here they are saying a survey carried out. So a survey carried out in a certain district showed that out of, so this out of, now they started breaking it down depending on this what? On this number. So this shows that our total, we can even say data there, our total is equals to 215, like that. And then they have said 170 taught mathematics. So you say you can even present mathematics to be just M. Mathematics, they, how many? 170. So 170 taught what? Mathematics. And then 100, they taught what? Additional mathematics. So you can even just say AM, additional mathematics, like that. And then they have said 41 taught computer studies. So computer studies, we can just represent it by CS, like that. So there are how many? 41, like that. 41 taught computer studies, like that. And then they have said 65 taught mathematics and additional mathematics. So you say mathematics and additional mathematics. How many taught those two subjects? They were 65. So you write 65 there. And then they have said 30 taught mathematics and computer science. So they have said 30 taught, they taught additional mathematics and computer science. So you say additional mathematics and computer science. There were how many? 30. And you proceed 26, 26 taught computer studies and mathematics, like that. So you say computer studies and mathematics, they were how many? They have said they were 26. So write 26, like that. And then they have said that 21 taught all the three subjects. So they have said all the three subjects, which is mathematics, additional mathematics, and computer studies, they were 21. Now this 21, all of them, it is your key for this type of question. This is your key for this type of question. Now, since we have this data, so I have said that illustrate this information in a Venn diagram. So when we go on our Venn diagram can be like this, like that. So we have three subjects. Now the arrangement, it depends on the key that we had. They have said O, they have said O, they have said O dot 21. So this O, which simply means that we had the intersection of the three subjects. So that intersection will be represented by this. So we have that and that and this. So we can represent those by using just the letters. Okay, we have mathematics here, additional mathematics, and the computer studies there. Now they have already said 21 taught all the three subjects. Now the intersection lies on the center of the three. As we can see, it is at this point there. So there we have 21. Maybe this is not visible. We can do this. Yeah, like that. So 21 taught all the three subjects. Now, since this is our key, we go back now to the question, to the data that we collected. Now, we cannot start at mathematics in order for us to fill the information. It will be very difficult for us. So it's better for us to start at this level, because it will be easier in that case. So they have said computer studies and mathematics, they were 26. So you go on your Venn diagram, they have said 26, all those who taught what? Mathematics and computer studies, like that. So since we already have 21 who taught mathematics and computer studies, therefore, since we already have 21, therefore, in order for us to know those that only did mathematics and computer studies, we can just subtract 26 minus 21. So when we subtract 26 minus 21, it gives us a 5. So here we have 5. So if a question asks how many taught mathematics and computer studies, therefore they are what? 21. I mean 26. 26, like that. They are the ones who taught what? Mathematics and computer studies. Now you proceed. This, we have taken this, now we are remaining with that. Now they have said additional mathematics and computer studies. There are how many? 30. So we have 30 who did what? Computer studies and additional mathematics. So they have said additional mathematics and computer studies, they are 30. So you go here. Since we already have 21 who did what? Computer studies and additional mathematics. So in order for us to have a full number of those who did computer studies and mathematics, since we already have a 21 who did additional mathematics and computer studies, we simply need just to subtract 30 minus 21. So you just say 30 minus 21, which will be what? A 9. So you write your 9 there. So 9 there, because when we say additional mathematics and computer studies to be 21 plus a 9, which gives us a 30 there. Now you proceed. We have gotten this. Now they have said mathematics and additional mathematics, they are at 65. So you go on your next on this. They have said 65. All those who took what, mathematics and the additional mathematics, like that. So they are 65, but as we can see, we already have 21 who did what, mathematics and additional mathematics, like that. So simply we just say 65 minus 21. So you say 65 minus a 21, which gives us what, 44. So you have a 44 there, like that. Now this information that you have just entered, they'll give you something. Now let's not forget that this is the what, the universal set. Don't forget AE, which shows, or U, which is symbolized for the universal set time. Now they have said uh all those, I mean, they have said 41 taught computer studies. So since they have said 41 taught computer studies, so you come here, computer studies, there were how many? 41. But as we can see, in this computer studies, we already have 21 teachers, 9 teachers, and 5 teachers there. So they haven't specified that uh, only those who just did computer studies. No, they have just said 41 taught computer studies. So even though we are part of additional mathematics and mathematics, and you also took part in this in the you also taught computer studies, which simply means that you be included in this case. So how do we find this value here? So you can just say 21 plus 9 plus a 5 there. It gives you 35 minus a 41, which gives us a what? A 6. Because when we add 5, 21 plus a 9 and a 6, it gives us what? 41 there. Even in additional mathematics, we add these because as we can see, 44, 21, and 9, they are also part of what? Additional mathematics. And they have said additional mathematics, how many? They are 100. So you say 100, or first you can just say 44 plus a 21 plus a 9. Now this number you subtract it from what? 100. So you say minus 100, you are going to get 26 there. So when you add 9, 21, 44, 26, additional mathematics, it must be equal to what? 100 there, because these are the people, are the teachers who did what? Who taught additional mathematics. Now we go to mathematics. There were 170. So even in this case it is similar. We already have 44, 21, and 5 teachers there. They all also did what? Mathematics, and then they have said they were about what? 170. So you say 44 plus 21 plus a 5 there. It's going to give you a 30. And then a 30, and then you subtract it from what? What? You can ask.
How they say per mathematics,
There were how many?
they were 170.
Yes.
So when we add the 44 plus 21 plus
Okay, yeah.
5, it's gonna give us
70, yeah. So 44 plus 21 plus 5, it gives us a 70. And then now this 70 subtract it from what? 170, and then it gives us what? 100. Yes. So you say 100, like that. Now if you have this is your, not a complete answer, because they have already given us what? uh, a total, which is what? uh,
15.
215. So as we can see in the question, there were 215 what? Teachers there. So you have to confirm this number if it is true that it is corresponds to the what, to these values. So you are going to add everything. So you are going to say 100 plus 26 plus 6 plus a 9 plus 44 plus a 5 plus a 21. It gives us 211. Now 211, and then they have said this is 215. So this shows that there were some teachers who were just part of the survey but did not take part in any of these what, teaching. I don't know if it was a competition or what, but they did not teach either mathematics, additional mathematics, and what, and computer studies. So you just say 211. When we subtract it from 215, it gives us 4. So this 4 lies at that point. So if you have this shows that these teachers, they did not uh, participate in the teaching of mathematics, additional mathematics, or computer studies, but they were part of the what, of the survey. So that is your answer there for question B1. Any questions? If you have any question.
Ungaambiwa mpaka 26 ya.
So on
26
Okay, so on the 26 and the 100, how we come up with these values like this. So as you can see here, they have said all those who took additional mathematics, they were how many? They were 100, right? So if you are able to see this set, look here. If you are able to see this, we have, in additional mathematics, we already have what, 44 teachers, we already have 21 teachers, we already have 9 teachers. Now these teachers, they also did what, taught what, additional mathematics, but they have said they were 100 altogether who did what, additional mathematics. So in order for us to find this value, we did 44 plus 21 plus 9 minus 100 gives us what, 26. That's the same thing that we did also on what, mathematics, because they said they were 170 who did what, mathematics. So we did 44 plus 21 plus a 5 minus 170 gives us 100. This shows that these, when we add everything, it must gives us what, 170, as it symbolizes that these are the teachers who did what, who taught mathematics like that. Now we start answering simple questions. So this is just more like a bit tricky part, but if as long as you just correct the data, then everything will be okay. So now 2a, they have said how many teachers taught none of the subjects carried out in the survey. Now these are the teachers who were part of the survey but did not what, taught any subject, because none means they did, more like they did not do anything. Now we are about to see this, right? So we just say 2b 2a. So we have 4 teachers. These are the teachers who did not taught any subject, but they were part of the survey. So now do not forget this term of teachers. So that is your full answer there. And then you go to b. B is saying how many teachers taught additional mathematics or computer studies but not mathematics. So now here you have to understand, they have said additional mathematics, or this or, which simply means that even though you just did computer studies, you must be counted. even though you just did additional mathematics, you must be counted because they have said additional mathematics or computer studies, but not mathematics. So for the fact that you taught mathematics as a teacher, you must be not be included. But all those who did additional mathematics or computer studies, they must be added. Those are the teachers that we do what we want. So you go here, they have said but not mathematics. So whatever is in mathematics we don't want, but whatever it is in additional mathematics and computer studies, they are the ones that we do what we want. So in this case, you just say 26 additional mathematics plus 9, these they did additional mathematics and computer studies, plus a 6 who did what computer studies, is equals to, so when we add 26, yes, it is a 41 there. So you write 41 teachers, like that. So it's just a matter of understanding a English there at that point. Now, uh, the last one, two subjects only. Now here also you have to bear in mind that they haven't mentioned either additional mathematics and computer studies, or computer studies and the additional mathematics, or mathematics. They haven't mentioned those, but they have just said two subjects only. So for the fact that you taught two subjects, which simply means that you must include it. So when we go here, where are we likely to see the teachers who taught two subjects only? So in this case, we are about to see mathematics and computer studies. These people, they taught two subjects only, but 21 they taught the three subjects, or the three. So these ones, they must not be included, but only those who taught two subjects. So as we can see, 5, it lies between M and D, CS, which is mathematics and computer studies. So which simply means that these 5 teachers, they taught mathematics and computer studies. Also applies to 44, they taught mathematics and additional mathematics. Also applies to 9 teachers who taught additional mathematics and computer studies. So we just add these because they haven't specified that mathematics and additional mathematics only. No, they didn't say that. They just said two subjects only. So you add 44, 5 and a 9 there. So you say 44 plus a 9 plus a 5 there. Your answer is, it is 58. So you say 50, 80 teachers, like that. So that is your answer. Any questions? Any questions so far? I hope it is clear. Now, we are done with question 2. We go to question 3, which is the last question I prepared for tonight. Now, this question, guys, you have to pay attention to this question. So, question 3.8 is saying, find the equation of the curve for which dy over dx is equals to 12x to the power 3 minus 4x plus a 5. So they have said find the equation of the what? Of the curve. So the equation of the curve, which simply means that here they haven't said find the equation of the normal or of the tangent of the tangent. Now they have said find the equation of the curve for which dy over dx is equals to that. So for the fact that you have already been given dy over dx. This shows that this equation, it is already in what? Differentiated form. But this equation, it represents the gradient equation, the gradient function equation. But we want the equation of the curve. So since we want the equation of the curve, therefore given this equation, therefore we must find the original equation before it was what? Differentiated. So in this case, this dy over dx just shows you that this equation was differentiated, but we need to find it before it was differentiated. So the key term here, it is the line, it is the equation of the curve, and then you already been given the what? The dy over dx, which shows that this equation has been differentiated. So we need to find the original equation before it was what? Differentiated. But how do we go there? We know that the opposite of differentiation, it is integration. So if we integrate this equation, therefore we are going to find the original equation. So just correct the data first, which is very important. So first of all, you start, you have been given the equation, which is dy over dx is equals to 12x to the power 3 minus 4x plus a 5 there. And then you have been given the point, at the point which is what? 0 comma negative 2. Now this, you know that this is x and this is a y. Now how do we integrate? We must understand the formula for integration, which is ax to the power n plus a1. We divide n plus a1. This, it is the formula for integration. So just try by all means, whenever you encounter a calculus equation, to write the equation such that when you see it on the equation, you'll be able to remember. And then for the differentiation, it is given by a multiplied by n multiplied by x to the power n minus a1, where a, it is the coefficient, n, it is the power, and the rule is that the power must be reduced. Now this, it is for the finding dy over dx. So in this question, they applied this formula in order for them to come up with this equation. So the opposite, it is this formula. So as we must apply this, the opposite to this, so that we come up with the original equation before they applied this formula. So that's the secret there. So we are going to apply this equation, this formula, to find the our answer. So I've said ax to the power n plus a1, we divide n plus a1 there. So we find the, now integration is represented by the symbol of integral, which is the integral of dy over dx is equals to the integral of 12x to the power 3 minus 4x to the just like that. It is, I'm just rewriting the question now, and then 5. Now the integral of dy over dx, it is y is equal to, now the integral of this and that, we put it in the bracket to show that we are integrating everything in the brackets there. So you say the integral of 12x to the power 3 to be 12x to the power 3 plus a 1, because here it is saying n plus a 1, and then we divide n plus a 1, so over n plus a 1, and then n, it is what? A 3, minus 4x to the power 1 plus a 1 over 1 plus 1 plus 5. Now here you have to understand that 5, it is 5x to the power 0. Any number to the power 0, it is what? A 1. So it will be 5 times 1. That's why you're able to see what? A 5 there. But how do we integrate this? We integrate this by doing this. So we have 5x to the power 0, right? So you say 5x to the power 0 plus a 1 over 0 plus a 1, like that. And then when we say 5x to the power 0 plus a 1, it will be just 5x to the 0 plus 1, it is a 1, over 0 plus 1, it is a 1, which is equals to what? 5x, like that. 1 into 5x is just 5x. X to the power 1 is just x, like that. So if you just forgot, maybe you forgot maybe in an exam, you can just say uh, you introduce an x to the constant number in case you forget in an exam, just in case. But that's the logic behind it. Now you say 5x to the power 0 plus a 1 over 0 plus a 1 there. Now you have to understand that this equation, it had a constant number. A constant number, when you are differentiating, it becomes a 0, because it is more like this. When you have 5, when we are differentiating, when we are finding dy over dx of this, we say it will be more like 5x to the power 0, because we know that any number to the power 0 is a 1. So it will be 5 multiplied by power, it is a 0, multiplied by x. Now this is 0, it will be to the power 0 minus a 1, like that. And then you know 5 times 0, it is what? A 0 times x to the power negative 1. Now this x to the power negative 1, when you multiply by a 0, to be what? It will be just a 0. Therefore you just have a nothing. That's the reason why when we say the constant number, when we are differentiating, it does what? It disappears. This is the same thing. So how it disappears, because x, it has the power 0, and then we know the rule it is that the power of x must be multiplied in order for us to differentiate. So in this case it becomes what? A 0. So now this number which became a 0, it's going to be represented by c. We need to find this value of what? Of c. So we say y is equals to, now this we can just do a simple algebra of 12x to the power 4 over 4 minus 4x to the power 2 over a 2 plus 5x to the power 1 over a 1 plus a c there. So you say y is equals to, now 4 into 12, it is 3x to the power 4 minus 2 into 4, it is just a 2x to the power 2. 1 into 5x to the power x and 1, it will be just positive 5x plus a c. Now we have already been given the value of what? The value of x and the value of what? Of y. Therefore we need to find this value of c. What was the value of c? So you say the value of y, it is negative 2 is equals to 3 open bracket 0 to the power 4 minus 2 open bracket 0 to the power 2 plus a 5 open bracket 0 plus a c there. Now you say negative 2 is equals to 0 to the power 4, it is just a 0, like that, minus 2, 0 to the power 2, it is just a 0 there, and then 5 times 0 is just a 0 plus a c, and then you have negative 2 is equals to 3 times 0 is just a 0 minus negative 2 times 0 is just a 0 plus a 0 plus a c. So this is nothing, right? We have 0 minus 0, it is 0 plus a 0, it's just a 0. So therefore negative 2 is equals to what? A c. So c is equals to negative 2. Now when you reach at this point, we have to rewrite this which is here, this which is there. You have to rewrite it, and then you where there is c, you replace with the value of what? Of c. So if I were to rewrite this, my answer uh, will be y is equals to 3x to the power 4 minus 2x plus 5x. Now the value of c is negative 2, like that. That's my answer. Any questions? Any question?
So answer pakakamba chati find the equation of the curve. So
Mhm.
answer ifuni consider so always
Yes.
siperera cheparisipa cho.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sir, why have you put on negative, what's this? 3x power 4. Why have you put 4 there?
Here where I have put 4, here, ah, give,
Kama natapalembwa y is equals to 3x power 4. Why make up 4 per 3x power 4?
the reason why I have put 3x to the power 4 is because, as you can see, this equation, when we started from this point, we added the 3 plus a 1 over 3 plus 1, and then it became 12x to the power 4, like that, and then over 12x to the power 4 over 4. Even here it came like that. We did negative 4x to the power 1 plus 1 is a 2 over a 2. Even here we did the same. Now when we reduced our numbers, when we divided our coefficients, we had y at this point. We had y is equals to 3x to the power 4 minus 2x squared plus 5x plus a c. Now this is the equation that they needed, but it is not complete. Just that we needed to find the value of c there. So how do we find the value of c? And then we have been given the points x and a y. So we found the value of c, which was equals to negative 2, and then we came here, we corrected this equation, we just rewrite it, and then where there's a value of c, we replaced with negative 2. So here we put a negative 2 there. So I just forgot to put a squared there. It was supposed to be a squared because this is squared here, like that. So when we integrate, we had this, and then we found the value of c, and then we just rewrite this, and then where there is c, we replace with the value that we found. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, it's clear. I'm not getting confused. Kali pa 3x was make up for then per 2x.
Oh,
But why pick by Ben? Yes.
okay, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So just like that.
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
Ndivyo
So I'm clear
nimesikia.
now.
All right. Think. So we do the last question. We call it a night. So now this question, guys, was very simple. I can't lie. So the nth term of a geometric progression is given by that. So guys, I know we have this thing of the nth term being defined by a to the power ar to the power n minus a 1. Guys, this is the equation that we normally use every time. This equation, you must know it. But in this type of question, they give us the nth term being defined by this, because we know that tn, it is the nth term, it is the nth term there. So since tn, it is the nth term, and then it is defined by this, as we all know it by the formula. But in this question, they said that this nth term, uh, it is defined by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 cross bracket to the power n. So in this case, our nth term was defined by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power n, because they have said that the geometric the nth term of a geometric progression is given by, so Tn is given by that in this case. So this was just the thing which we needed to understand in order for us to get this whole question correct. So as I'm going to proceed, I can just rewrite this on this here, the what, the formula, so that we follow through. So Tn, it is given by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 close bracket to the power n, like that. So we say solutions. So they have said find the first three terms. Now the first three terms, so the first term is given by a, that is the first term, but the rest of the terms you can maybe choose your own later, because we know when we use Tn is equals to a r to the power n minus 1, we know that a, it is the first term, r, it is the common ratio. So the first term is given by a, the second term, let's say we define it by b, the third term we will define it by c, like that, and then the term continues like that. They continue up to the infinity. Now they have said find the first three terms. So the first three terms, which means we must have three terms starting by the first one, the second one, and the third one. So the first one, it is this a, the second one, it is this one, and the third one, it is this one. Now they have said find the first three terms, so we need to find a, b, and c. If they said that find the first four terms, we could have said maybe we could have included a d there, and then we say fourth what term, and then the position of a term is defined by n, right? So n in this case, it defines the position of the term. So the position of the term, which is a, the first term, it is equals to 1. The second position is equals to 2. The third position is equals to 3. And the fourth position may be equals to 4, like that. Not maybe, it is equals to 4, but in this case, since we are just ending on a, b, c, so we need this, we need that, and we need that. So as for finding the first term, so we say Tn is equals to, since they have said it is given by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power n, so our first term, which simply means n is equals to 1, like that, you say 180 open bracket 1 over 2 close bracket. Now the power of n, the value of n, it is 1, so this will be to the power 1. So you know T1 is equals to, now here you use a calculator, you say 180 times, since it is in brackets, which simply means you are going to have multiplication there, so you say 180 multiplied by 1 over 2, or you can just start by 1 divided by 2, it is equals to 0.5 multiplied by 180, like that. So we are going to have 90. So you say 180 open bracket 2 into 1, it is 0.5, and then to the power 1 is just 0.5 to the power 1. So you say the first term is equals to 90, like that. So you keep, so you say first term is equals to 90, like that, and then you proceed to the next one. So the next one is, so the next one you say Tn, again you write the formula, it is given by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power, the value of n, it is 2. So you say since n is equals to 2, so you just say t2 is equals to 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power 2, like that. So tn is equals to, you say 180 open bracket 0 0.5 to the power 2, like that. So tn is equals to, so when we say 0 0.5 to the power 2, it is 0 0.25. So you say 180 multiplied by 0 0.25. So you say t2 is equals to, so 180 multiplied by 0 0.25, it is 45. So you have your 45 there. So this is your second term. So you can even say b is equals to 45, like that. And then you proceed. Now here you say for the third term, you just say tn is equals to 180 you say 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power n. So now you know that the third term is defined by n is equals to 3. So you say t3 is equals to 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power 3. So you say t3 is equals to 180 open bracket, and then you say 0 0.5 to the power 3. So you say t3 is equals to 180 multiplied by, so 0 0.5 to the power 3, it is what, 0 0.125. So you say 0 0.125, like that. So you say t3 is equals to 180. Now when you multiply this, sorry, let's just multiply in advance. So when we multiply by 180, it is giving us 22.5. So 22.5, like that. Now you can even keep this, you write by writing 2.5, and then you say uh, therefore the first three terms are 90, 45, 22.5, it continues like that. You'll be given 4 marks, like this. I hope you have understood about this question. Now the second question is saying find the common ratio. So how do you find the common ratio? Now the common ratio, we know that the common ratio, it is represented by r, or small letter r. Let me just write small letter r as we are used to it. So common ratio is given by t2 over t1, like that. So common ratio is equals to, what is t2? T2 we have already found, it is what, 45 over the first term, which is 90. So common ratio is equals to, now here we look for the number that can go into, or we just divide because we have a calculator. So me, I know that this is 1 over 2 or 0 0.5, like that. So that is your answer for a free mark. So if you just got the first part wrong, therefore even the second part, it will be very hard for you to do what, to find. Now the last question is saying find the sum to infinity. So how do you find the sum to infinity? We know that the sum to infinity, it is always that the common ratio, it is always less than 1. That's the way it is for this one. So you say sum to infinity, so it is represented by the symbol of infinity. This is the symbol of infinity, is equals to first term over 1 minus r. Always r it is less than a 1 for the sum to infinity. So you say sum to infinity is equals to the first term, we know it is 90 my over 1 minus the common ratio I found, it is 0.5. So sum to infinity is equals to 90 over 1 minus 0.5. When you use your calculator, you're going to get 0.5 like that, and then you divide it by what? You get it into 90. So you say sum to infinity is equals to 90 divided by 0.5 is equals to 180, like that. So this is your answer. Any questions?
Sir, on 2.5, my page about
2.5.
22.5.
You are saying 22.5.
22.5.
Okay, so 22.5, 22.5, we found it in this way. So 22.5, it is the third term. As you can see, this is the first term, the second term, and the third term, because we represented these by using letters, as if you can remember here. So you say, since it is in the third position, and then we know that n defines the position of the term, so you say Tn is equals to, they have said it is given by 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power n, and then we know that third term, it is n, which defines the position of the term. It is a 3, which symbolizes the third term. Now it is 180 open bracket 1 over 2 to the power 3. This is how we found, and then we simplified this. We said t3 is equals to 180 open bracket 0.5 to the power 3, and when we use your calculator, 0.5 to the power 3, it gives you 0.125. So we are going to have t3 is equals to 180 multiplied by 0.125, like that. So you say t3 is equals to, when you multiply there, 0.125 multiplied by 180 is going to give you 22.5. So this is how we found it. Clear?
Yes, it's clear now.
Yes. So for this class, we are going to end here.